Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 129 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
I'm Jeff Updike.
I'm Weston Pugh, and we have a great show. We're going to feature 3 amazing properties around Dallas, and actually all the way into Melissa, I believe, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
And in the second half, we are going to hit the highlights on...
Talking about, are we in a real estate bubble or not?
It's a huge question. I feel like it's
lots of questions about that.
what everyone is talking about this day, whether you're an appraiser or an inspector. I feel like these are elements that get discussed quite often. So it should be helpful, and we will do a lot of discussing on that.
Yeah, the big challenge that I see right now is with the appraisers in the marketplace not really being able to like forecast what's going on and how fast things are going up, and so anyway.
Stay tuned because we'll have some answers for you.
Sure will.
So it's been a busy time, as you all have probably read in the news, and if you're in the market, you probably know that for sure. Especially if you're buying, it seems like right now is one of those difficult times.
It is. You know, it's funny. It's a really different market it's hard for buyers, but it's also, I think, hard for realtors too, because where you and I used to be able to get 10 properties out of MLS that met somebody's basic requirements and go show them those 10. And if they didn't like those 10, we had 10 more and it's just not like that right now. It's like you take a buyer out and you show them 3 houses that meet their requirements and you say, okay, these are all going under contract tomorrow. So look at them, just know what you're going to be able to buy in that price point, and then we'll start running and jumping, and everyone we go out and
Last night I FaceTimed one of our clients because she was in South Carolina, and I just said, you know, in 10 years this would be amazing, but you would be a pioneer. And it was, even for me going over there, I was like, I've been in plenty of neighborhoods where the gentrification has started, but over there it was quite interesting because not only was there no one else, but there was also no other lots that had been cleaned, which meant that this was going to be definitely someone who is ahead of the curve, probably by about 12 months or greater.
Yeah.
So
yeah, definitely.
It's been interesting.
You know, the pioneers in neighborhoods are the ones that make all the money.
You do.
I mean, it's you have to live like in my neighborhood. I would not have, when I first moved in there, I would not have walked out and walked a block down my street at night.
Isn't that interesting how fast? And then you got your taxes, your tax evaluation the other day. How's that?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Anyway.
So that's another thing. So in your mail, you should be receiving your tax valuation, shouldn't you?
Yeah. So the new value for taxation should be appearing. One of the things that happens right now is if you have not received that, look at the Central Appraisal District for the county that you're in. Most of them are in DallasCAD.org. Collin County CAD also can look at them online. But even if you didn't get a notice in the mail, go look and look and see what your 2021 valuation is going to be, because that piece of paper, if they sent you one and it somehow got lost in the process and you don't reply to that, whatever that new value is what you're going to be stuck with for another year.
It's set, and it's very difficult to undo that.
And the other thing too is that even though your value doesn't change, you can still protest your value for that current year.
Yep.
So if you need help with that, certainly reach out to us. We've been providing comp data for people for 30 years, and we can talk to you. We can't represent you in that process, but we can kind of talk to you about how the process works, and be the shoulder to kind of lean on a little bit when you need to have how to argue things and how to talk about different values. We're happy to do that.
We always get comps for people too. We pull the comps. It kind of helps the situation out. I know that in years past it's been quite successful for certain clients. So not everybody is always that lucky, just because as things come in around you, it makes it much more difficult in these infill product homes.
It really does.
So Good times.
Yes.
So we're going to do 3 properties this week, and the first one is going to be one of our listings that actually is not yet in MLS.
Right.
It's a incoming. It'll be coming soon later this afternoon, and it will go live, I believe, on Friday. We're also going to have an open house on this one, and this one is going to be 4403 Cherry Cove, and this is all the way in Melissa.
It is in Melissa, Texas, and this is a really great subdivision. It is, this house is about 5 or 6 years old, and so part of the subdivision has been built out really well. The owners of this home are actually staying in the same HOA. It's moving to a different part of the subdivision, a little bit larger house, but the location of this is super easy. I mean, we can be there, if we're in downtown Dallas, we can be out there in about 30 or 40 minutes. And the amount of home that you get moving to the suburban and exurban markets is so much greater than what you can if you really just have to stay inside LBJ.
And one of the things that we always like to point out is that as you move further and further out, you're getting newer homes. One of the things to point out is that as you buy newer, the home usually has newer building codes and also newer building sciences. So these 1-2 really begin to impact the way that the house actually consumes and uses electricity, water, making a home a lot more cost efficient on the whole spectrum during your ownership.
Yeah.
So this is going to be 4403 Cherry Cove. It is a 3-bedroom, 2 full, 1 half bath, 2-car garage. It's 1950 square feet. And as you can see here, this is going to be 4 sides brick, a very even, easy floor plan. As you can see, garage is perfectly located. You've got 3 carriage lights. They've also added a little garage remote that makes it easy to get in and out when you don't have the remote.
And as you walk in the front door of this home, you've got this really great room right to the right there that has so much flexibility. You can use this as an office like these owners do. You could also use it as more of a formal living room. You really have, I mean, there's so many different things you could use it for.
And I think that's one of the great things about this floor plan is as we go through, you're going to notice that there's a lot of versatility. As you transition from the dining room directly behind that wall, you come into this kitchen. The kitchen is really great, and it's an oversized kitchen. It has a lot of workaround space, so you can see countertop is really great. An island peninsula as well that has seating right here. You can see we've set it for 3, but you can also see that they've used really great tile that looks like wood planks that is really durable both for 2 and 4-legged little ones.
And this goes all the way from the front door all the way to the back door. So you have really no carpet in any of those living areas there that are the main part of the house.
Now the ceilings are also vaulted. You can see there, you see the slight tray there in the left-hand portion. This is an eat-in kitchen as well, so we've got dining space, and it does have a chandelier that's above it, so it makes sense. This is a really large dining room table, and if you kind of look how the light comes in, it is almost anchored and symmetrical with that window, so it begins to make a lot of sense.
It really does, and these windows provide so much light to these rooms. It's really amazing. The photographer had to tone them up a little bit just to kind of calm down the light that we were seeing come in through the windows, so you could have a really good visual of paint color, ceiling height. I think these are 10-foot ceilings in the majority of the house.
Right. And this is a good all the way almost to the master bedroom where you get to look back. You see the front door on the far right-hand side and a really great opening. Now, the way that they've configured this is going to have 3 bedrooms, and this is the first of the 2 on the guest side. And they are separated from the master down a hallway. This is a really good size, and that little closet there on the left-hand side is a really nice walk-in.
They actually had this home converted from a 4-bedroom to a 3-bedroom under construction so that they could have these really generous sized rooms that are the guest rooms. It also provided them with some extra storage right outside of this bathroom that creates this great little linen closet.
And this is going to be the 2nd bedroom down the hall. And one of the things that we see in, again, newer construction is they have both an air vent and a return in each one of the bedrooms. And it really does a great job of actually balancing out, it takes and eliminates those warm spots in the house and makes the AC run a little less.
And this has got a full-size laundry room, which is really great because it comes in off of the garage. You also have a really generous sized master bedroom. As you can tell, this is a king-size bed, 2 really wide nightstands, plus you've got all of this other custom-made furniture that you've got plenty of room for.
And we didn't take a picture of the closet, but that is a very large walk-in closet that's right there. And this has really good access and light. I believe there's 3 windows in here. This is a view that looks over the covered porch. So again, you're not getting flooded with too much light, but you get all the good light.
And you've got the double sink with the vanity, still granite countertops, the separate tub and the shower. And the shower in this is a really generous size shower. There it is. And you've got those frosted windows that look in toward the tub there. So you've still got good privacy.
And one of the things to note is that there's 2 windows around the bathtub, not just one. Now this is the covered patio, and you can see it backs up both to the master and also to the living room. One of the things that you see here is we also have a ceiling fan, and not pictured is going to be the gas stub. So you can really take advantage of that. This is, again, a very large backyard. And as you see, they didn't skimp. These fences are actually held up with pipes versus just 4x4s. So it really does help a lot out.
And that does have an extended patio also.
Correct.
They poured another extra couple of feet each direction. So it really does give you a good outdoor living space.
And to make things just a little bit easier in MLS, and also here, as you can see, there's text that's above us. But you can also see here, we've gone ahead and put all of the elements that show you exactly what it costs to run this house for electrical, water, and gas to get a really full picture on what it costs.
So 4403 Cherry Cove is a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath, 1 half bath, 2-car garage that was built in 2016. It's a little under 2,000 square feet, and this home is priced at $335,000, and that's about $171 a square foot, which is a really great value for that style of construction of home.
Yep, and Jeff is going to hold this one open on Sunday from 2 to 4. So if you would like more information about this, check the link out. If you want to come see Jeff and the house, go see him on Sunday, 2 to 4.
I'll be there.
He will be there. So great house. Look forward to having this one on the market as well.
And that will be live and available for showing starting Saturday.
Okay, Saturday about 9.
Yes.
I don't think
Right.
they'll be out of town by then.
Yep.
All right, so the next one we're going to take a look at is 2722 9th Street, and this is unit 115D, and 115D is a little bit different because it is a standalone, and this is a complex of condos and townhomes and a standalone, and I
Yes.
believe there's 2.
Yes,
And I
that's
believe you and I have sold each of them twice.
That is correct.
I don't think anybody else knows they're there.
They're really a unique property, and the current owner wants to go ahead and rent this again for another year. He lived there for several years and then rented it out when he moved away, not being sure if he wanted to sell it or not. He wants to hold on to it for at least 1 more year, and so we're helping him locate a tenant for it. The home itself has located right in the heart of Oak Lawn.
Exactly.
And you have such great walkability here. If you're someone that works at any of the medical districts, whether it's the UT Southwestern Parkland area or if it's over at Baylor, these are both very, very convenient.
And the other thing too that I like about this complex, and I don't think that everybody realizes it, it is gated parking, but then each one of the smaller buildings is contained within a courtyard, and it's also, each one has its own lock, and the pool has a lock. So it's a really great job of like keeping things like, rather than people just running around the complex, which is a really great feature as well. So as we take a look at this one, again, as we said, this is going to be a standalone, and you can see here you're going to have your own little front door. And the parking, what's great about this is just to the right of that
Yes.
front door.
Yep, directly right outside. You get 1 covered and 1 uncovered space. Both of those are assigned.
Yeah, and it also has a small backyard that's really great. I believe the current tenant was using this for just a little, they had a high bar top, and then they had a little bit of plants out there. But you can see great tree as well. It's a as we get inside, this is going to be quick, but you can see how easy it is to live here.
Yeah, this downstairs is all living area, kitchen, dining area of both of your bedrooms, and 2 full baths are up. You do have a half bath on this level, which keeps your guests from having to go upstairs when they come and visit. Has the granite countertops in it, the really cool 1x1 tile backsplash. We actually had this listed when this owner bought it. And the previous owner had this really cool mobile bar that sat right outside the kitchen, and it was perfect.
Yep, and this is the size of one of the bedrooms, and the great thing is that they're equal. The way that we would describe these is typically these are just about double masters because there's really not any difference in the bathrooms, and there's really not any difference in the closet space.
And the complex has such great outdoor space. The pool is really right in the center of the complex. You've got covered space out there as well with grills that you can use if you do like to cook outdoors. And it's just a wonderfully convenient property.
Absolutely. So this is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-car spots, and it's 14 square feet. Really great laid out. It's $2,200 a month. That's $167 a foot. So this is something that you're interested in, and we know we've got a lot of people jockeying around right now. This is a great link. You'll be able to share it. Let us know. We can be able to get there, open it up for you. Take a look inside. You will not be disappointed with this place.
Yes, and it is available May 1st. So
Absolutely.
It's available instantly.
Thank you so much for pointing that out. I totally forgot that. The tenants have left the building.
Yes.
So, good deal. So now we're going to jump over to State Thomas, and this is 2916 State Thomas, and this is an amazing area of Dallas. This is probably the most walkable neighborhood in Dallas if I were to actually qualify it.
I would agree. You have such great access to almost anything within a 10 or 15 minute walk of where you are. There are still art galleries down there. There are a lot of neighborhood restaurants. The Nodding Donkey is right around the corner from this. State and Allen, which is a really great mainstay restaurant for that area, is right there. And then you've got all of the nightlife up and down McKinney Avenue, and even a Whole Foods is within a 5-minute walk of this home.
And the very, very interesting thing, because we had a listing over here in Hibernia, it was very interesting to me to find that this area, because of the lifestyle that it allows people to live, is very, very attractive to a lot of demographics. If you're coming into Dallas and are unfamiliar with Dallas, this is a great place to land. If you are done with the suburban market, this is a great place to land, and just about anyone in between. So we'll take a look at this one. This is an interesting complex. It was interesting. Jeff and I had never been in this one. You can see here you've got really large sidewalks to walk up and down. They've done a really good job of actually planting quite a few trees to make it a little less miserable in the middle of the summer walking around.
Yeah, and this was one of the early Perry Homes projects, and I thought we'd been through every floor plan over there, but apparently we haven't. This one is right at the very back of the complex.
Correct.
One of the great things about this community is they've retained a little bit of yard space on the side of the community there, where you've got kind of this community green space, but then you've also got the pool space on the other side of the building.
So when you come up the stairs to the second floor, this is the greeting, and you have so many windows because this is, as Jeff said, one of the end units. And so we're going to get windows from a lot of different directions that allow light to really take, and I hate to say the word flood, but actually flood the unit with light.
Yeah, you've got 3 walls of light coming into this, and it really does make a difference with it. Perry Homes did a really good job with the granite countertops. These actually have the granite backsplash, the 12x12 backsplash tile, stainless steel appliance package, ceramic tile in all of the places where it really should be, and then also the stainless steel side-by-side fridge.
And it has gas, and that's one of the things that everybody talks about and wants. And one of the good things about this is it has its own eat-in, and that bayed out window actually looks down the entry as when we were on the outside. So you get this really great light that just kind of warms up this kitchen. It does have a half bath as well on this floor and a great pantry.
This is the master bedroom as we go upstairs, which has its own little Juliet balcony there on the front, and then does have it has carpet going up the stairs and into the bedrooms here. Again, it's got the high ceilings in it. I think these are 10-foot ceilings after you get above the vault. And again, plenty of space, king-size bed. Here's the view off of your Juliet balcony there, looking back down the driveway toward State Street.
And as you can see, it's set far enough back that road noise won't be a factor. Now let's transition into this crazy, huge master bathroom. So it's hard to get it into scale. They've done a really good job of doing the photography here. You can see you've got really great light. Separate vanities is what a lot of people want. The walk-in shower was also a really good size, and it has its own toilet closet. So you don't out and about.
Yep, and here's one of the guest bedrooms, still a really good-sized rooms, big closets on this level. Perry Homes did a really great job with their air conditioning systems where they were able to really maintain the temperature between floors. So even when you get up onto this third floor, you're going to have a really great control over that.
So this is a Jack and Jill bathroom on the first floor between those two bedrooms that Jeff was talking about. And again, it's a smart use of space. You don't have a lot of hallways that everything's disappearing in. And it does also have its own private. And they've decked this, pergolaed it. It looks like at some point the HOA has also replaced the fence to match. You've got ceiling fans out there, and they've taken advantage and also hung a little lighting system out there.
So 2916 State Street is a 3-bedroom, 2 full bath, 1 half bath, 2-car garage, built in 2001. It's just under 2,700 square feet, and it's priced at $695, which is $258 a square foot.
That's a great deal. It is a great space. If you'd like more information, again, we're going to have it in the comment below. Just click on that. And if you'd like to take a look at it, we'd love to make that happen for you as well.
And we'd like to say thank you to Rob Puckett for letting us talk about their home.
And we'll be right back after this short commercial break.
There are lots of ways to keep up with us. Visit and like our Facebook page to watch us live and get updates about future show topics. Also, visit our Instagram account where you can see the latest homes we have for sale. You can also check out our website at updikepugh.com where you can create customized searches of active and sold homes that you may find of interest. If you'd like to know how much your home is worth, visit homeprice.fyi and you can get a price instantly. Just enter your address and a couple of other pieces of information and we will email you a price. If you are on the go and podcasts are better for you, our second segments are available on iTunes and Spotify. Last of all, you can reach out to us by phone or text at 214-377-2223.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the second segment of episode 129 of Sold with Updike Pugh.
Yep, and we are going to talk about is this a housing bubble? I feel like that seems to be quite a big discussion that's being had both locally and on a national scale. And we thought that this would be an interesting discussion point. I believe it was Lawrence Yoon, who was the chief economic advisor or director for National Association of Realtors, who recently did an interview on Axios that's available on Google, and it's a very interesting read, pretty short, but I think it was one of the things that triggered us to realize this is something that we wanted to discuss and kind of talk about it in a more granular fashion, what's happening here in Dallas, and kind of actually look back and see what was the previous bubble.
This was a really interesting topic to me because there's a New York Times article that just came out that talks about the U.S. home sales are surging and when does the music stop. In the second paragraph of it, it says in the first week of April, U.S. search interest in the phrase, when is the housing market going to crash, jumped 2,540% compared to the previous month.
I did read that and I thought, okay, who's writing this? Are they people that want it to crash? Are they people who are investing and are putting it on the market? I was like, I'm more curious about who's actually typing that in.
Well, I think that people get excited about real estate. People, I feel like most people feel like the home ownership is really part of the American dream. Home ownership rates are 65%ish right now, where they've been for probably the last 3 decades. So it's an important enough idea that I think people start planning ahead of, do I get caught in what happened back in 2006 and 7, or am I okay?
See, that's where I am wondering, because I feel like even though it was almost 12 years ago that we really went through the 08, 09 downturn, I still feel like it was so significant that it is still a touch point for so many of the people who are home buyers and home owners right now.
I think people saw an incredible amount of home equity that they felt was lost during that time. And so, it really started in 2007. And the market began to slow, and then there were, a couple of financial institutions that failed in the 8s and then in the 9s, and there was just all of that recovery that had to take place, and it took a long time for that to snap back.
And I think that's what we want to talk about, is like looking back and what was the bubble that is the most recent reference point. Like, what were the characteristics of that bubble, and then we can compare it to what we're looking at right now and see if they line up as a bubble or not.
Yep. What do you see as like the characteristics of what caused that?
So I was in new home sales in San Antonio at the time, and so I found it very interesting, the number of homes being built, the sheer volume and inventory that was available to everyone out there at that time. And the people that were buying it were not just homeowners, but a significant portion of out-of-state investors that we saw. And it coupled with like a real lackadaisical attitude towards financing, I felt like. And it just became this snowball, as you'll say, where I remember there was a time in San Antonio where there was an agent who came in and said that she had 31 homes under contract.
Wow.
And all of them were investors. And it was just as it was beginning to shift. And I think like by the end of the month, she said that every single investor had walked away from their earnest money. And so it was very different.
Yeah. The one of the big differences that I see is that people were really going out of their way to borrow as much money as they possibly could in order to invest in real estate. And you know, that's not always a good approach.
And so kind of like keeping up with like this financing portion of it, I felt like then it was so much interest only ARMs where like people were, as you say, leveraged, where they could only afford the house if they just made the payment for 3 years on the interest, and then were hedging their bets that the market would continue to increase and that they would be able to unload it in 3 years and make money. And you and I always talk about it to our clients that you really need to be in your house like 6 to 8 years.
Yeah.
In a normal cycle with DFW appreciation rates, it's about that timetable.
Yes. Yeah. And the longer the better in many instances, because real estate time heals all kinds of real estate wounds.
100%.
So
We've talked about that with many of our clients right now.
yeah. In the one of the other things I think was still a challenge back then was that housing prices around the country were being reported as increasing so quickly. They weren't increasing here as fast, but we saw a tremendous number of people that had done this successfully maybe the 2 or 3 years prior to that in the sand states, in the Californias, in the Floridas, in the Arizonas. And we saw a lot of those investors come here and start trying to do that. And, because we were a cheap place to live for a long, long time.
We're still affordable, but it was cheap then.
It was cheap.
The other thing too is I think that the inventory difference, I feel like the number of condos being built in 6, 7, and 8, and especially even the ones that were attached to hotels, is something that was something that we don't see nearly as much anymore.
Yeah,
and I feel like that kind of has like retracted quite a bit. So we're a little more into the infill product, single family homes and true townhomes.
Yes, I would agree. So, what do you see as some of the factors in today's market that are different than that?
So I would say, there's a bunch for me. I think that we've got the pandemic that has actually disrupted so many supply chains to the point where we've had new home construction under contract, and we've received a letter that the builder has sent to our clients, and it lists almost every product that they need to build a house to discuss that these are elements that are disrupted right now. And so timetables are taking so much longer. And I like to think that typically in Dallas, that new home sales acts as a pressure relief valve for resale, like a resold home, and that's not there right now. And because that inventory and those supply chains have been affected so greatly, and it doesn't look like there's a change happening anytime soon, that this has forced an abnormal percentage of people back into the resale market. And therefore, that's why we're seeing rates as low as like 2.7% as far as like the number of of homes on the market for the month.
Yeah, and as you're talking about the disruption of the supply chain, which we did not have that back in the recession in 2007 through 10. That disruption has affected prices, and even the price of lumber has tripled in the last year.
Yep. And so these are like probably the difficult portions that we see within the market, but like some of the healthy things that we see within the market. I would say that financing, the pendulum has swung from, we would call it a no-doc loan back in the day, where you could just kind of, good credit, you could say whatever you wanted to where now it's swung all the way over here where it was too much, and now it's kind of back where it needs to be. But there's actual logical underwriting now.
Yes, yes, very
Where
much so.
documentation is required, and they're actually looking at your debt to income ratio and making assessments and helping you buy a home that you can afford at your current income for 20, 30 years.
Yeah, I think the low mortgage rates has really also fueled some of the extra activity in the market, because it is pushed people, we've had that rent versus buy analysis, and it just really didn't make sense to rent with interest rates being 2.75.
100%.
But we've seen the interest rates also start to come back up a bit. And one of the things that Lawrence Yoon was talking about was that for about the last year, the reduction in the interest rates was enough enough in a buyer's mind to offset what the higher price they were paying for it is. And now that interest rates are starting to come back, it's going to start pushing a few people out of the market.
Right.
And it's just going to cause some people to make the decision that this is not the right time to buy for me.
Yep. And the other thing too is how we were talking about how financing was a bit of a gamble at points because of those interest-only arms. So whether it's someone getting a conventional loan or a traditional loan, or it's the amount of cash that they're putting into the market and when they're buying the home, these are factors that allow a homeowner to weather a downturn. And I don't feel like homeowners from 5, 6, 7, and 8 could weather the downturn because of the way that they had leveraged themselves again. But the cash has allowed people to sit in their homes and be able to be comfortable. Even if they had to make a life change and sell the house, they weren't in a situation, they're not in situations where they're going to take a loss on the home.
Yeah. So it's still really a good time for people to be buying real estate, because I certainly don't see our prices going down any. People do get a little sticker shock sometimes if you've lived in our marketplace for 10 years or 15 years, you kind of remember what prices were 15 years ago, and you look at them now and you're like, oh my gosh. But
Your parents could say the same thing.
yeah, when you compare the cost of owning a home or purchasing a home today to what it's going to be 10 years from now,
Right.
People are going to look back and go, why didn't I do it then?
Why didn't I buy it then?
Yeah.
You're 100% right on that.
I've never heard anybody tell me, gosh, I'm so glad I sold that property back in da-da-da-da-da.
You're absolutely right. They're always like, why didn't I buy that house?
Why didn't I hold on to that house? Why did I sell that?
Yep. So it looks like the takeaway from this is that this really isn't a bubble, because a bubble to me depicts something that's unhealthy, something that is propped up, something that is not supported by the underwriting conditions. And I do not feel like that is at all where today's housing market is.
I don't either. And I believe that in reading, not just, I think people look at some economists that are in the real estate business, and they're like, well, of course they're paid to say that.
Right.
But if you look at independent economists as well, many of those are looking forward to next year, and they're saying this is going to loosen up.
Yeah.
The supply chain is going to correct itself over it may be the next 12 months.
Right.
But that is going to correct itself, and then we'll also begin to see the increase in the building. We've really only had the same number of homes built each year for the last 4 years.
That is insane to me.
So in the DFW area, so the number with all of the people that have been moving here, that's what's filling a lot of those apartments right now.
And there's interesting little factors, and they're all over the place. It's not able to say it's just one element. Chris Kelly brought up a really interesting point, is that the boomers make up the largest portion of the homeowners right now. And that typically at that age in their life cycle, they typically are not still homeowners when you look historically. But that's not the case anymore, that people are living a healthier lifestyle and a longer lifestyle, and therefore they're actually able to stay in their homes. And this inventory would be really helpful right now, but it's not becoming available.
Right.
So we hope that makes sense.
Yeah.
We're not big on sensationalizing, so you're not going to get crazy sound bites.
But if you have comments to make about it, or if you have different opinions, we'd love to hear it. Put it in the comments below. reach out to us directly. We'd love to have a conversation about real estate and at least share what our perspective on it is.
Absolutely. And just remember, we want to be your realtors for life.